Hello, hello, hello. How you guys doing tonight? Good evening, everyone. Hopefully everyone can hear me nice and clear. Hi, Mark. Hi, Randy. Hi, Nana. Hi, Tony. Hi, Deborah. Hi, BK. Hi, Billy. Hi, Berenger. Hi, Virginia. Hi, Susan. Hi, Linda. Hi, Susie. Hi, Julie. Hi, Richard. How you guys doing tonight? Hopefully you guys are all having a great night here. Hopefully you guys can all hear me good and clear. A lot going on in the world tonight, though. And of course, the world today. Russia is stepping. Yep, my phone is working. I just checked it out and made sure it was working before I went live again because it wasn't working and I had to reset it, but it is now. So we are taking calls tonight. If you want to call in, Billy, we will do that. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff. It is crazy out there. We got everything from fuel prices to Biden wanting to spend more money. Russia, of course, going back to bombing. Food prices going to be going way up here in the near future. It is not looking good. And it all adds up. It is all adding up to here in America and what we're going to face and the facts of what's happening. Hi, how you doing tonight, Billy?
What's up, Chris? Welcome back, man. Good to have you back.
Good to have you
How you doing,
back.
all right?
Yep.
Hey, so I'm watching this show. Another show I watch on YouTube is called Redacted, okay? And I wanted to call up right away and just talk about what I'm watching. And what they're talking about is today's the anniversary. A lot of people may not know. If you know, Chris, May 2nd, 2014. Pro-Russian people in Ukraine, in Odessa, I guess it was, yes, in Odessa, in front of this big town square, were peacefully protesting in front of this building. There were
It
hundreds
got
of them.
massacred by Azos Group in
Yes,
2014.
exactly. The
Yep.
government sent in the Azov battalion nationalists. The police were told to stand down, and they gathered them all up in the building and they burnt the building down or set the building on fire. And they killed hundreds in the building and they killed many more in the square.
Yeah, I think their
And
total number from that actually was like 1,200 and something people passed away in that
yeah, okay,
event.
that's the same government, Chris, that we're sending billions of dollars of money and weapons to. That's the same government that's in operation right now.
Yeah, and this is just the beginning that we're seeing what's happening. And what we're going to be seeing in the near future is going to be drastically worse.
Now, if all your listeners out there, if you want to watch this when you get off, when you're done with the show here tonight, YouTube, it's called Redacted, and they have the videos. They're showing the videos tonight on this show, and today's the anniversary. In fact, he showed the press secretary for the State Department on that Monday was Mary Hart or Mary Hoff, something like that. She was on the
That's why
Fox News room.
that's why I recommend like people that are joining that are new here. If you haven't researched the Azos Group, go directly to their website. They have their own website. It listed as Ukraine military. It's really easy to get to. It's azos.u something. I forgot what it is. Hold on, let me pull it up really quick. azov.org.ua. Go directly to their website and Google will translate it for you. It's really
Yeah.
easy to read, but they document all these things that they've done that are terrible things that they've done
Yep.
to
Yeah.
civilians. It's in their
Now,
own manifest and log.
Now listen to this. Today I saw on another channel some guy that had some old video clips of Zelensky when he was a comedian slash actor before he was in politics. And there's a video of him uh, joking, doing some kind of skit, and he's talking about how when he's on a balcony and he's doing his Adolf Hitler skit, and he mimics the Adolf Hitler salute when Hitler's on the balcony, he salutes the thousands of Germans in the square. He was doing that.
Well,
Video of him doing that laughing. Well, people might say, "Oh, that doesn't mean nothing." Oh, really? Doesn't mean anything?
they say
Well,
a lot of people use that he's Jewish, so he can't be racist.
yeah.
Well, first of all, Hitler was Jewish.
Yeah.
You got to look and see what's happening in that country. They went from 30% Jewish to less than 1% now.
So
It's a
what I
huge.
wanted to call up yesterday to talk to you about was that guy Patrick Lancaster. People got to start watching his videos of what he's doing in Mariupol and other parts of Ukraine. He's right there in the thick of things, and he's going around delivering humanitarian aid to all the people that are held up in those basements in Mariupol. And guess who he's going around with and who's helping delivering that stuff is the Russians. Okay? And every single person that he interviews out of the basement, these old people, the middle-aged people, they all say the same thing. It's not the Russians who are killing them or shooting them. It's the Ukrainians. It's the Azov Battalion members.
Yep.
They were not allowed to evacuate Mariupol before the war started because the Azov Battalions wanted them held up in that city to be used as pawns.
It's sad.
This is everything that the mainstream media is not telling the American people about.
Yeah, and like Russia, they allowed evacuations. That wasn't a question. They were trying to get the people to evacuate the steel mill. They would not leave because Azov was using it as a facility, so they were using them as human shields. So now that the UN moved in today, of course, and did evacuations, Russia didn't give them a single problem. As soon as all the buses was gone, guess what Russia started doing again? They started bombing the shit out of it. After all the civilians were gone, Russia is bombing the plant and leveling it now.
Yeah, because
that's what they should do.
So, hey, I just want to make it clear to everyone. I don't want people to think that I'm rooting for Russia in this war or I'm pro-Russian. No, what I'm doing and saying is that I want the facts to be out there. I want people to know what really is happening and what this government of Ukraine is really about. Okay, I'm not rooting for Russia, but I do not support American money and weapons going to this Ukrainian government because they have many members of their military who are neo-Nazis and white supremacists.
Not only that, their elite military or their leaders in military are all Azovs.
And now,
I mean, their hammer has Hitler on it. Their Warhammer.
The Pentagon is worried about our stockpile of weapons because we're giving away a lot of stuff, and we don't have the means to replenish it right away.
We won't have means to deploy the number of troops it would take to defend South Korea with the means of stockpiles of weapons we have now. That's a sad point. I saw a military
guy on another show, and he said that it takes about from the time you order a Javelin handheld, shoulder-launched missile, the Javelin missile, to the time it's delivered to the military, it takes about almost 33 to 34 months.
And we got to think we have already delivered more than half of our stockpile. Then.
Well, they said one third of the Javelins are gone already.
That number is way being underestimated for public, so we don't realize it. But we're not talking about just Javelins. We're talking about actual rifles that we've sent there. We're talking about just body armor that we've sent there.
Yeah. And where is that money going to, Chris?
Yeah, the money.
That money, right? Is it really going to the people who need it?
It's not going to the people. People are starving right now. I don't know if you guys know that. People are starving in Ukraine. I actually have a fundraiser on my personal page that I'm raising money for the people of Ukraine, the actual citizens, to get food to them, aid directly to citizens, because they're not feeding their own citizens. They're saying Russia's stealing all their crops, but we see their soldiers are well fed, and somehow they manage to get food for them, but their citizens are not fed.
Yeah.
This is getting ridiculous. And Biden's plans a $3 billion freaking plan to boost battery production right now. There's so many better things to do with money.
Yeah, exactly.
Let private industry take care of that. Private industry's doing it already.
Yep.
I mean,
all right, man. Let me get up the phone, and I just want to touch base, say hello.
Yeah, God bless you, man. Thanks for calling. We definitely appreciate the calls. But we get back to it, like Elon Musk is in private industry. He's doing what needs to be done. He's making batteries more affordable by producing them in a scale that's never been seen before. And then we got Biden wanting to invest in building more battery production for electric vehicles. No, let private industry do private industry. It is crazy. It is crazy what is happening. Ukraine is very corrupt. There's a lot of places that are very corrupt. And then we got leaks, of course, with our government. which is just ridiculous. I mean, even Ukraine or even spies, Ukrainian spies, are saying the war will not be over until Putin dies. Putin's not going to give up this what's happening. Hi, how you doing tonight? This is Chris with Real News Live. You're on live.
Hey, Chris, this is William. You ready for the two big things?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Over Hannity. There is a leak at Supreme Court
Yep.
under Alito's opinion.
It's on my list tonight.
Roe versus Wade, gone.
It's going to be overturned.
Yeah. The only thing is, big implication behind it. What is this with a leak at Supreme Court? Now it is Chief Justice Roberts who's going to have to look into that, and he's the third, the third branch of the government.
I'm guaranteeing the leak is coming from the leftist within.
I guarantee it's something else. I want you to think about this one. Now, if it is a clerk, they'll never work for him again. They'll never work as a judge or anything. So
Well, that's what I'm
every
saying.
clerk knows they have to get permission from a justice. So which justice did it? What about the new one?
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be one of the alternate left justices. So it probably. I'm saying it's the oldest one in there right now, but I'm not going to point fingers right now until we get some more
I'm saying
information.
it's a new one. Yeah, I know why. Because she is Biden's appointee, and big time. She's Arabella Group. She worked for them in BLM.
Yep. Well, that's a whole nother problem. I don't know how she got even in after everything that came out, but that's one thing after another. Here we're chasing tails.
Oh, they changed Wikipedia page on her.
Yeah.
Her Wikipedia page they changed.
Yeah. I mean, that's why public confidence in the Biden administration is going down the toilet, falling by double digits.
Yeah.
I mean, the economy, Powell's double-digit loss in the economy. It's ridiculous.
I love the next one. You remember Joy Reid got on there and said, these kids are being used as a backdrop for DeSantis.
Yeah.
She is saying we got to find out who they are. In other words, harassing minors, threatening minors.
Mm-hmm.
They were, I have it in Trump 2024 page, but I forget the guy's name. He filed with the cops because they're from a charter school just down the street from Parkland. And these cops work with that school. So he filed charges on Joy Reid, and he filed charges on MSNBC. They're getting ready to go federal on her and MSNBC.
I have a feeling there's something big going on in the government that we're not even seeing yet, because this case with Hunter Biden has been taken up with the several states, and all of a sudden it got hushed up. So I have a feeling that we're going to see something big come out of this, and we're going to see it impact more than Hunter Biden. And it's going to be drastic when it does.
It is. Did you know that one of the oligarchs that paid Hunter Biden and Joe Biden, according to the emails on the laptop, he is not in the ban thing for the Russian? All the other oligarchs are.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. It's pay to play. It's a pay to play society. We're facing the problems here in America because of it. I mean, and they don't care who it's affecting, because when you see diesel prices going up and gas prices, production in the U.S. has dropped drastically. People don't realize this. They're saying they issued a whole bunch of new permits. They haven't.
Yeah.
And some of the permits just expired. So now we have gas production slowing down at the worst possible time.
Oh, the permits are doing now that he says, oh, we're going to redo some of these permits. You know what he did to those? He jacked up the rate on them.
Well, no, I mean, literally, a whole bunch of permits just expired. We've lost at least 50% of our production of natural gas in this year alone. 50% of our natural gas. It doesn't seem, because natural gas, we do burn a lot of it off. We do waste a lot. We sell it to foreign countries. But
my breath in here a second. But all these companies that lost all those oil production, even in the sea, they're now in other countries. So do you think they're going to bring it back to where a country that says, oh, we'll let you drill, but then later on will say, no, we don't want you to drill. It's a waste of their money.
Yeah.
So
Well, like,
like
like the Appalachians in West Texas is facing a crisis in natural gas shortage where it's causing prices to climb even higher than they were during the winter. And people don't realize that yet. I mean, this is going to be bad when it hits full scale.
Oh, hell.
I mean, you see diesel prices right now. I mean, the strain on truckers, the trucking industry, is really killing truckers, as the national average for diesel is over $5.30 a gallon.
We should all just start quoting Maxine Waters when she was there in Houston, and she did this in a speech. She said there's going to be $15 billion a day going through Houston thanks to the pipeline coming down through Canada, and she was applauding it. We should be quoting her words on that just to rub their faces in it.
It's ridiculous. It's just our economy can't handle this.
Exactly.
Our citizens can't handle it. I mean, a lot of people are living literally paycheck to not eating for a couple of days to paycheck.
Oh, heck, even worse. By the time they get their paycheck, it's already been spent like 2 or 3 days beforehand due to bills.
That's what I'm saying. They're starving. I mean, we have Americans starving right now.
CNN came out with that one, and that's a leftist one that came out with that.
And the 22 facilities that have been burnt as production facilities is just ridiculous, or destroyed in some accident. 22 factories have been accidents.
15. Last time it was 15. 11% in 2019 and 2021. They didn't add the numbers for 2020, and it was at 15% this year as of last month. So in other words, it just went up.
Yeah. It's going to be drastic. I mean, and then we have food shortages, which we all know what's happening with that. I mean, between chicken, the bird flu, and now with that freaking 60,000 pounds of beef, that was a huge loss to the American economy. We haven't even seen the ripples from that yet. And then today, I don't know if you guys know, ready-to-eat chicken packages over 30,000 pounds had to be pulled off the market today.
Yes.
That's being recalled.
And that's why you go to Domino's or somewhere, they pay extra for chicken now on your pizza.
Yep.
Anything with chicken.
It's crazy. It is crazy.
I came up with a good name for this. This food shortage is due to Biden. You know what that is? The Biden depends flu.
Well, it's not just a food shortage here, though. That's what people don't realize. This is a national or an international thing now.
It's worldwide,
and we're feeling it here a little bit, but some countries are feeling it so hard where they're literally starving out the citizens unless they're growing their own food. And eventually, it's going to be here that way if we don't face the fact and do something about it.
Now, I was thinking of doing a post on this, comparing their ideas to Venezuela and North Korea. North Korea had it was a fertilizer shortage.
Well, you can use Lebanon and Venezuela. You don't even have to use North Korea because Lebanon is going through the same issue.
North Korea, for one reason, they wanted them to poop in the fields. And then when the one guy came across the border with guards chasing him, when they found him, he had an intestinal parasite in his stomach that had to be surgically removed so he'd live. It was the size of a forearm because of that.
Well, so the biggest thing, like what I'm talking about, how we can use Lebanon instead of North Korea is because they both have positive GDPs, even though they're very small. It was a positive growth. And then they started printing money, and then they went to a small negative GDP. It just took a small percentage for 1 quarter. With this massive printing of money for their inflation to start going up, like we're seeing already, the effects we're seeing here in the U.S., which we're in a negative GDP, and inflation is going up at the same time. And then our feds are trying to raise our interest rates, which you can't do. You can't do if you're not making money as a country.
Exactly. That's what you do on the inflation side. It was Venezuela. But on the fertilizer side, would have been great for North Korea.
Yeah, well, fertilizer, we're 100 times worse than any other country could ever be in a situation for fertilizer right now because We've
Yeah.
done away with the chemical fertilizers, like the ones that were made here in Florida. Florida phosphates have been done away with a lot because of environmentalists.
Not just that, the companies that make them, they stopped making them because it's too expensive to make them.
Yeah,
They
because
just shipped in from other countries like Russia and selling that away.
well, they have to pay ridiculous fees to the EPA here to produce
Mhm.
fertilizer.
Exactly. So they closed up their businesses and just imported.
Yep.
So now what are we going to do when we don't make it?
It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. Well,
Yeah, like I said, I was looking up a lot on this, especially on the fertilizer one. So at least I know my shit. No, pardon my language.
it's a bad situation. It's getting shitty. That's all I can say.
Oh, yeah. I know. How many jokes can we pull on that one? Oh, I know
my
who the
goodness.
biggest producer would be if we could actually tap him. Joe Biden. Just ask the Pope.
Oh boy.
See, at least I brighten up your day after all this bad news, you know.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's
Well,
crazy. It's
I'll let you
crazy.
know.
I mean, corn. Did you know we only have 14% of the U.S.'s normal corn output planted right now,
Yeah.
and only 3% of soy that we usually plant, because
Oh, I got a
we're having these harsh thunderstorms and tornadoes moving through the Midwest or the
You know what
central
they're
part
saying?
of the country.
GDP's growing. They're only adding in what the government's paying everybody. Because if they add in they say the unemployment record's going down. Well, jobs are going down.
Yeah, well,
People aren't going-
unemployment always looks lower when people aren't receiving unemployment because they only count the people receiving money from the government. So if you
And
cut
they're
people
working.
off from receiving the money,
Exactly. And they're not working. So what happens then?
it's that. Then they're just considered out of the workforce. And if you look at the out of workforce number right now, I think we're at 60-something% of America is considered out of workforce.
Yeah.
And this is just, the number keeps climbing. The people
And I
dropping
have
out
to,
of workforce or considered dropping out of workforce are people that can't receive unemployment because if you quit your job, say if you get angry or you get mad and you quit your job, you can't receive unemployment. And then you can't find another job. Guess what? You're not unemployed. You're just out of the workforce.
And then, of course, they can't join the military because they're trying to cut many people out of the military again.
Yep.
I'm saying.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, before I hang up, check out Grandpa Tone's place. He's starting a Roku channel. You know how Facebook and all are always muting you?
Yeah.
He's looking for people to do weekly or nightly shows.
Yeah.
You got to contact Allison. So that way you and him can work together on those. But he'll have a whole Roku channel. He needs to find people. Right now he has a guy who's trying to do history with plastic army men. You know what I'm saying? So in other words,
Oh,
you on
boy.
there would be almost gold, okay?
It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, the U.S. is only planning on planting 19% of their spring wheat this year because we don't have fertilizer for it. This is a drastic number. 19% of the wheat that we usually plant is all they're going to plant this spring because they don't have fertilizer. That number is drastic.
So you're talking food shortages. Everybody's saying food shortages now, inflation. What's to come? It's going to make the Great Depression look like kiddie games.
Yeah. I mean, for a very poor position in wheat planting would be 43%. At 19%, that's a famine issue. Could happen.
This
I
time,
mean, luckily we're up in oats this year because oats don't take as much fertilizer, but that's just one thing.
Now, here's one for you, Chris. If the price of them goes so high, people aren't going to pay their rent, right? Remember those Haitians were known as Biden villages or Bidenvilles? Now it's going to be American citizens in Bidenvilles. You know what I'm saying?
It's scary.
Just
It
feed
is
their
scary.
families.
Yeah, people are going to have to be growing their own food, and if they're not yet, get to growing something. I mean, I know people don't like going outside. panic disorder with agoraphobia and PTSD. I do not leave my house unless I absolutely have to.
Oh, I got a worse one now. A week from last Friday, I went into the ER emergency room over here at the VA. He went through a whole list on my heart of what's wrong. You know, because my feet were all puffed up. I twisted my ankle and then caused congestive heart failure in both my feet. He does this whole list of about 10 to 15 things wrong with my heart from the EKG. And I looked at him, I said, what, is it a miracle I'm alive? He goes, oh, no, you're alive. You're good. I'm like, okay. With all those things, did you find a heart in there? He's like, yeah. I go, good. I'm not a heartless SOB then, am I? At least I got my sense of humor.
It's getting bad. I mean, and the thing is, like, the VA, I know you have to deal with it too. So, like, the VA, like, I have therapists. I have to go, even though I was not in the military. I'll tell everybody that I work for a private company. You still have classified stuff. So, like, my therapist and that stuff has to be through the VA no matter what, because that's the only way you can get classified until you can actually talk about stuff.
My therapist had to get special clearances he had to send in for, and it took him like 6 months.
Well, that's the reason they made me go through the VA to get.
Yeah, because they can get the clearances. The only thing is, it just takes so much time for the therapist to get them.
Yeah.
Especially because I have the depression. But
and the only way to get over it is to talk about it. I mean, it's a sad issue that we're facing.
Yeah. You know, you talk about it. You go through the groups. You know, they're trying to close the VA hospital here and move it. I'm like, why? I'm right here in the city. I can stand on my one porch and look at it. You know, I'm that close. But the groups, they take you out to the Marshall football game. Go out to the park, do a grill. You know, with a bunch of us other vets.
I look out my front door and I sit right at the front door, but that's as far as I go.
Oh, hey, I got 3 porches. I got a front porch. I got 2 back doors, so I have 2 porches there. And the views are awesome because I'm on one rim, and I look over, I can see the other rim about 6 to 10 miles away. And the hospital's in between there. So I get to see across the whole valley. And there's all these houses.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's one of the best views.
And then, Twitter, I know everybody was so grateful. I'm going to talk about this real quick. That Elon Musk bought Twitter. They're back to banning everybody again because he has yet to get a hold of who's at or how they're doing it. Because there's a huge Twitter's not just one person. I mean, there's a ridiculous amount of employees, and they all have rules they're supposed to follow. But like, they're shadow banning conservatives.
Yeah,
Mike Lindell. Sean Hannity. Mike Lindell got banned again right after he made a new account. Immediately was banned.
Another one restarted his just like Mike Lindell, and he got banned within 4 hours.
Yep. Well, Sean Hannity, I mean, is being shadow banned. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Inflation's out of control. I mean, U.S. factories are literally producing the least amount of product in 18 months because of everything going on. And yet we're out of the pandemic stage. So what's going on with our country? If people think everything's okay, they're in for a wake-up call.
Go to Elon Musk's page. I keep putting in there and also put in Elon Musk in hashtags. Hey, you want to get rid of these shadow bans? Grab me for a month. Hire me for a month. I'll start firing some of these people. I'll tell them, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you.
Yeah.
And then start hiring some other people on. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It's sad. And people think we're facing issues right now. We don't even, like when Europe does fully ban Russian oil in Europe and the EU, it will be a huge problem because right now we're buying, I think it's like 50-something% of our oil from Saudi Arabia. And they're going to have to buy their oil from Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia has already said, we're not producing anymore. We're not turning up the spigots.
You know who Saudi Arabia is selling it to now? China. You know how,
China's stockpiling oil, gas, gold, coal.
They're accepting the yuan instead of the dollar, which means we're not the preeminent oil dollar.
Yeah, if we're not the petrodollar, we have no certification of currency.
Yeah.
And they're stocking up on everything. China is buying out everything.
I had to use my inhaler. Ugh. This sucks. All right. The other
Crazy
thing
times
was
coming ahead, though. Crazy times.
you were saying on Europe, the new misinformation or disinformation woman, you know, Mary Poppins of TikTok. Well, she was for and spoke for censorship in Europe, along with Hillary Clinton. So that's what's coming.
Well, censorship in Europe's always been there. I mean, they're not a true democracy. None of Europe is a democracy, a true democracy.
No, you got to read that bill. It's even worse.
I mean,
This is almost like Nazism, burning books and all.
oh, well,
That's how scary it is.
it's just sad.
And they're backing it.
It's sad.
That's just straight up scary, man.
Well, I don't know if you guys knew, like today, I'm going to talk about the talks real quick, but like today, the EU gave special permissions only for two countries. Hungary and Slovakia are the only two countries that are the most reliant, or that the European Union will give exemptions or a longer transitioning period to for the 27 nation blockade of Russian oil. And they're planning on doing this week. When this happens, we will see a drastic price in oil go up.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's going to spike hard.
yeah.
Well, I bet there you go, Chris. You have a show to do. But nice talking to you again, man.
God
Be
bless,
safe.
man. Be safe. It is crazy out there. I mean, we have a lot of stuff happening, and it's going to be a hard time coming forward. Yeah. Supreme Court's going to be crazy tomorrow outside the Supreme Court. It's going to be worse than the insurrection we've seen on January 6th. The stuff happening. Thank you guys for calling. We definitely appreciate that. It's crazy. Crazy. Watching what's happening around the world. And then here in the U.S., of course, something had to come up. We had to get some kind of distraction. So now we have the Supreme Court leak, which we're going to see protest, and we're going to be seeing them hit hard. And any day, Russia can use these beautiful symbols that have been floating around me on the show. Could use these. On Ukraine or the EU, the EU's already been directly threatened. It's a scary situation we're facing. And the thing is, people aren't saying or being honest about it. The news isn't talking about what's really happening. It's just going to get worse. That's all I can say. Got extreme thunderstorms expected all week, of course, throughout the Southeast and Central America, or Central U.S. So hopefully we don't have experience too much damage and everybody stays safe. Stock market, of course, is continuing to disappoint, expecting to lose another 25 or 27% by the end of the month, by the end of this month. So it's not a good outlook. 27% drop in the market within a month is what they're expecting this month. Yeah, and the fact that they're not reporting on the food plant fires and airplanes that are random. Okay, I understand one airplane hitting a food factory a year could possibly happen. An airplane accidentally crashes into. When a pilot is going down, they steer away from buildings. They don't want to go towards that. They're going to overturn Roe versus Wade. It's been over, or according to that document that was leaked, it's been overturned, and that's going to cause, of course, people going crazy. It's sad. It is a sad, sad time we're having. Whereas New York and raised the COVID alert as new cases surpassed key thresholds in Manhattan, fueling public concern again about COVID. Once, of course, we thought it was all over. Once you think something's over, just getting started. That's what I always say. It's getting scary out there. And now skeptics are saying, and medical profession or some medical professionals, not a lot of them, are saying maybe it's a time for a fourth dose of a vaccine that isn't proven to be 100% effective. Yeah. The overturn of Roe versus Wade, the leak shouldn't even have happened. Leak should have never happened. It's great. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. Stressful thing though is going to be food shortages coming up, especially with the amount of lack of planting this year. Yep. Isn't it amazing how they know ahead of time? Well, I imagine DC's already going crazy out there if you guys are checking it out. I haven't gone on and checked out what's happening in DC yet, but I haven't been over there yet. Check it out. Anything live right now with feeds coming out of New York or Supreme Court, but yeah, definitely plant some grow bags with 10. That's awesome. Yeah, plant some potatoes and get started. Oh, I don't know what to do, you guys. I don't know what's gonna happen next. We definitely appreciate you guys' support. If you guys are able to support the channel, we desperately need it to help people in need around the country. So definitely, if you guys can afford that, we do appreciate it. I'm probably going to sign off for the night and say God bless you. We'll see you tomorrow night live at around 9:30 to 10 Eastern Standard Time. Stay tuned. We will be with you. And a prayer goes out to everybody that's dealing with storms, of course, and tornadoes that are going around tonight. Leak, of course, probably did happen for a reason, but God bless you guys. God bless you.